Good afternoon, Flosstube. My name is Mandy. Welcome to my channel, all about cross stitch. If you are a new visitor, thank you so much for pressing play and spending some time with me. I know there is a ton of content out there right now to keep yourself busy. So if you're sticking around, if you're stopping by for a visit, thank you. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you. So appreciate all the support, new viewers, returning, subscribers, non-subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you who decides to stop by and spend a little bit of time with me. Today is Friday, December 15th. Whoa. I have no words. Time is flying right now, as it seems to do every single time this time of year. Why am I surprised every single time? I hope those who celebrated Hanukkah had a very happy holidays. I hope it was a wonderful time for you. I can't believe that Christmas is just 10 days away. I am nowhere near ready for the holidays. Even though I have got my tree up a little earlier than I seem to usually do every other year, I'm nowhere near. Shopping for family and all of that kind of stuff. So I feel like I got a lot to do yet. Not a whole lot of time. But on a good note, I have 2.5 working days, 2.5 left for this year. As of Tuesday the 19th at 5 o'clock, I am logging off and not seeing my computer again until January 2nd. And boy, have I been counting down the time. In years past, I've been able to take the week between Christmas and New Year's off, and there's been a number of years where we spent a week at this place called Creative Passions. It's in Chesney, Michigan. If you haven't heard about it, look it up. It is so cool. I know I've talked about it here before, but it's been a while. It's been a few years since. I really don't think that we've been since, the whole 2020. I don't have for sure, but I feel like maybe even the Christmas between, so like the end of 19 might have been the last year that I went. I don't remember. Basically, the company owner has refurbished former churches. I think there's 2 former churches. There's a Victorian style house. There's an old inn that was converted into a retreat space. It was intended for quilters and scrapbookers. We're cross stitchers, so it's been me, my mom, my sister's mother-in-law, and then her best friend. And we would go and just spend 4 days of doing nothing but stitching and napping and eating and laughing and just, our own little retreats. And it was glorious time. So that's a great week to have off when I've been able to go do that. We're not doing that this year. Like I said, it's been a few years, but it's still a great time to have off, and I'm so looking forward to it. I know there's going to be days that I'll be busy, hanging out with my BFF Crystal. I'm sure I'll be spending a lot of time with my sister. I'm hoping that I'll get a chance to maybe go to a Thursday night pinball event. There's 2 events while I'll be off. My sister and her husband often go on this Thursday night, and it's just too hectic for me. For me to be able to attend, I would have to go, I'd have to take time off, because it's in Grand Rapids, and that's 2 hours away from where I live. And so with me having time off, it'll be a great time to go. So hopefully I can be able to work it out with them so that we can go. So yeah, it's a great time to be off, and I'm so looking forward to it. So, and in all of that whole time, I super hope to have lots of stitching time. Given the holiday, Christmas holiday leading up to will be very busy, those few days there. But I'm hoping that after Christmas I can have some lazy days of doing nothing but stitching and watching movies. I do plan on filming a Flosstube sometime between that week. In that week between Christmas and New Year's, I'll already be off. I don't see it happening next week before Christmas. I anticipate it'll probably be at least around the 26th. I may not wait until my Thursday, Friday, like film schedule. So maybe sometime within that week. So more to come. I'm hoping Stitches will make an appearance. Usually when I'm sitting on the couch, she runs behind me and everything. You guys get to see her. She's running around. So hopefully we'll be able to get her over here to see. I did get my holiday cards sent out. So if people sent me their mailing addresses or people that I already had, I got them sent out. And if you got one, I hope you appreciated the sticker of Stitches. I had to send her a little picture of her. So, and I tried to put it in so that people didn't just throw it away because of the style of my card. You know, if you didn't look inside the envelope, you wouldn't have seen. So I kind of clipped it to the card. So, I thought about sticking it to the actual card itself or the envelope, but you know, that way you can be able to stick it on a floss box or something. Who knows? It's Stitches and it's a sticker. I do want to give one reminder as I'm sitting here with all this preamble. I did get the 2 giveaways that I had to mail. Those went out. Today's Friday. I think maybe Wednesday. Tuesday or Wednesday. They did get in the mail, so to Amy and Eden, your charts are on their way to you. But I was giving away a Heaven and Earth mini design. I have not heard from my winner. I have been keeping an eye on the spam folder. I'm not seeing anything. I've kept an eye on my Instagram DMs. I'm not seeing anything. So Ellen R2512, this is your last call. Let me know which mini Hade Heaven and Earth design that you would like to receive. Send me an email, stitchingbee82@gmail.com. If you DM me on Instagram, stitchingbee82, make sure you give me your email address so that I know where to send it to. So, LNR2512, last call. If I don't hear from you by the time I do my WIP parade in 2 weeks, I'm gonna have to pick another winner. So, alrighty, let's get into it, shall we? I got some good stuff to share. I've got 2 new starts. I've got a classic WIP that hasn't seen time of day in a long time. And then a couple other projects. And some haul. All kinds of good stuff. The first start that I have to share, I signed up and requested a chart for Threads of, I knew I was going to butcher this name, Diaspora, Threads of Diaspora. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is the design that I got. So this is Stitching for Palestine. So it just absolutely breaks my heart of what is going on to human beings. Ceasefire, people. Like, why? Ceasefire. That's all I can say. And so I'm very humbled that I can be able to contribute at least something to this project. It is gorgeous, and I've been drooling over each and every one of the squares that I've been seeing so many people stitch on these, and just want to give a big shout out to those that are organizing this project, and you know, appreciation of being able to participate and hopefully keep this beautiful art in existence. So it's stunning. So here is my piece. Very, very small start. I just started this the other night. It is stitched on the 11 count white Aida that they want for being able to, if you haven't seen before, there's lots of people on Instagram who are sharing these, people in Instagram, I'm sorry, Flosstubes that are working on these. These squares are going to be, they're in the process of turning them into stunning quilts or quilt, you know, wall hangings and such that are just, it's stunning, and it's something, a way to keep this beautiful art around, even though the people of Palestine just can't seem to get through this time. So my heart, it breaks for those folks, in my part, I guess. I am so not good with words, but I'm using called for DMC, except for this shade. I did go one step darker. Called for was, I think, 992 DMC. I'm using 993. Just ended up what I had. I had more of this on hand than the other skein. And I know this is going to eat up the floss being 11 count. So Stitches is in the process of chasing her tail on the couch. Goofball. So that is my threads of Diaspora. So I do need to get working on that. They hope to have, like, it's a 2-week window, so I really need to get going on that. So my next project, get my iPad back out. This is a new start. This is actually a little bit of haul as well. I realized after I filmed last time that I completely forgot to mention that I had this coming. I don't think I actually had it yet. No, because I'm pretty sure that I started it the same day that I received the goodies. So, Forbidden Fiber Co. I forgot a project. No, I did not. It's right here. Chaos. Gilmoreisms, as in Gilmore Girls. Love that show. Luke's, I mean, it was perfectly fitting for the topic today. So anyways, Forbidden Fiber Co. They are releasing, ooh, that is not what I wanted to share. So this is just the mock-up of what it's going to look like. So we got the borders, the frames already. And then starting January 1st, I believe, we're going to get a portion for each. So it's going to be a weekly release of all kinds of different sayings and such from the show. This is stitched on a piece of, I got 16 count Aida in their colorway Casablanca. I'm going to show the threads because I did spoil myself completely. I had received some bonus money from work that I decided to completely spoil myself. I got floss. So I got the Forbidden Fiber flosses. Oh. We've got Squash Blossom. We have Troubadour, beautiful purple. Hay Bale, beautiful. Pesto, beautiful green. Look at that. Pineapple, beautiful yellow. Editor, it's coming through kind of like a very soft blue, so that, like, what is it, 772 or something, really soft blue. Collegiate, so we've got Chilton colors, could be Yale, I guess. Marzipan, beautiful off-white. Pewter, Cinnamon, the kitty cat. I love the name of this one. Loose Floorboard. Lane call out. We've got Wookie from A Year in the Life, if you know. And we've got Nevermore. Kind of a black. I can't tell if there's, yeah, it's black. Nevermore. Raven. And then we got 2 skeins of dark roast. Coffee. Look at those browns. So that's the border, so we got 2 skeins of that. I have been obsessively watching this show, mainly while working. It's been nice to be able to just have the show playing. Something else that I just watched this week that while I was working, definitely watching it though, Sullivan's Crossings. So it's on CW. I believe the first 10 episodes, I believe that's just season 1, just ended this, I think it was aired this week. Luke from Gilmore Girls, so Scott Patterson. I get the names mixed up of Scott Patterson and Scott Peterson. If you know anything about 90s murders, that's why I can't keep the names straight. So I think Scott Patterson, he plays Luke, is on Sullivan's Crossing, and so is Chad Michael Murray who was also in Gilmore Girls a couple seasons, and then One Tree Hill is in it. It's an amazing, amazing show. If you enjoy the show, Virgin River, then you would also love this one as well because same author wrote the books. So anyways, Casablanca, it's blue. Oh, that's better. When I first held it up, it turned white, but it's definitely a very pale blue. This needle minder would have come from Abby's Top Knot stitcher shop. And so I just got the first frame done. Based on the layout, week 1 drop is upper left hand corner. So far I just got the one. It's been my hope to get this all of the borders done. I don't see that happening. So, but that was definitely a lot of stitching. I think it took me 2 evenings worth, but there's some substantial stitching. And because the floss is over dyed and there's definitely some slight variegation to it, I'm doing 1 stitch at a time. So it took a little while, but yeah, that is definitely getting blown way out. It's blue, it's beautiful. And I'm excited to see what our little Gilmoreisms are gonna be. Okay, next piece, still on the Forbidden Fiber. This was the project that I didn't think that I had with me. This is Fight Like a Girl. It is Forbidden Fiber's design. I had purchased this as a bit of a mystery package. I knew the theme when I bought it. I started this back in May of 2021, so it's been out for a little while. I know I received the whole kit. It came with a project bag and a needle minder and the floss, chart, fabric. Early May. I started it probably shortly after that because this definitely resonated with me. So it's been a project on my WIP list since then. And I showed this last time. I was starting a bit of a strand a day. And so if you follow me on Instagram, you've been seeing me sharing about a strand a day. There's been some days, like last couple days, I did a couple strands length. I'm really hoping I can be able to get this done by the end of the year. We'll see if that happens. I could definitely see me picking it up for like WIP Parade progress to push it to a finish. So, because if you look at that border, that's a double, that's a double line border with a back stitch in between. So here's where I started. So I would have started this December 1st. There was one day that I did not stitch that I recall, but again, doing a couple strands a day and making up for it. So this was my starting point. Not the greatest. I did have that border all the way around. In fact, I meant to actually take this right off the Q-snap. I'm gonna do it this way because, woohoo, I was able to move. So I got that flame and torch all done. This border, the one single line border, had already been done. I didn't get the best picture when I started it, but if you watched, I'm pretty sure I showed this entire thing last time. So I had the border all done. So I finished the flame and the torch, and then now I've started on the words. So we have some, it almost looks like some lost it. But that's not the quote. So, crack me up. This needle minder is not the one from the kit. That needle minder actually kind of broke. I remember re-gluing it. So the magnet part had fallen off the... That needle minder is pretty, it wasn't the most needle minder friendly because that needle minder had a big bubble to it. I like needle minders that are flat. I don't lose the needle that way. So yeah, it was nice getting that whole flame done and the torch and being able to move over to the words. And those words are definitely going really quickly. So hoping to get those words done pretty quickly, and then I'll be able to move on to that border, and then we can call it done. So that one I'm trying to touch every day. Like I said, there was one day that I didn't. Last Saturday, I helped out at a pinball tournament. I didn't participate in it, but I helped with keeping the arcade clean and beverages stocked and, you know, just kind of keeping things up so that the shop owner could really just focus on the tournament itself. And he was streaming it on Twitch, and so, you know, he was focusing on all of that. And so I was able to just keep the place up for him without him being able to, you know, having to focus on other stuff. Well, he gave a pinball machine away. So it was a pricey buy-in and all of that. So basically there was all kinds of entries based on how you finished each round. And so there was a lot of data entry. So I think by round 3 out of 8, somewhere around there, he called me over and said, hey, you want to help me out with the computer stuff? And so that he was able to focus on other stuff. So it turned into a balancing act between keeping the place clean, beverages stocked, and all of that, to also working on data entry and helping him draw his winner for his pinball machine. So that was awesome. So it was cool being able to be able to help give the shop that kind of support, because I wasn't going to be able to actually participate in that kind of an event. You know, that price for the ticket to, you know, play was, it was spendy. And so being here at Christmas time, my best way to support is to lend a hand to the support that, you know, things you don't want to think about while you're trying to run a tournament. So that was fun, but it was definitely an all-day thing, and I slept hard that night. Anyways, you're not here for pinball. Stitching. All right, so this WIP finally called to me. I've been wanting to get it finished. It's nowhere near that. So it wasn't a project that I was ready to abandon by any means or anything of that nature. But it sat for a really long time. I looked back at my Instagram. I was able to figure out where I left off at. April of 2022 was the last time this project saw any sort of stitch time. Sounds like I've got mail. You've got mail. Anyways, I finally had to pull this project out. I love it. It is Lindy Stitch's Beautiful Things. Oh, my darling, it's true. Beautiful things have dents and scratches too. Again, this sentiment really resonated with me, and so I had to stitch it. And so, like I said, it sat for a good long while without being touched, that I finally had to. So we got it pulled out. I love this piece so much. So last time I worked on it, I got all of the words done. I've got an Instagram post of all of the words, and that was, so to give you a before picture, it was that. So I got the fence. This fence is a beast. I'm not even halfway. I am using called for colors, and so that fence is, I want to say it's Timber, Classic Colorworks, and so you can definitely see the variegation that's coming out in that. And so again, I'm doing single stitches just to be able to get the best variegation for it. You can use over dyed thread however you want. Single stitches, back and forth, 1 strand, loop method, 2 strand, however you want. Your variegation is just going to come through differently. So don't ever let anybody tell you you're using variegated threads wrong. There's no right or wrong. It's what look you want it to have. I like the look of how some of those colors are looking, because it looks like an old tarnished fence is what it looks like. That metal that has been rusted and, you know, 50 different shades. And so I am using 2 strands, 1 stitch at a time. But again, if you used 1 strand loop method, it's just not going to be looking quite as variegated. If you do a back and forth, you know, do a half stitch one way, half stitch that way, it's gonna look a little more stripey maybe. So Variegated threads, there's no right or wrong way. It's gonna just look differently to how you want to use it. You can see the words. Like I said, I'm using all called for color. I know there's DMC, but I don't think I've gotten to any of the DMC yet, but it's a mix of DMC and classic colors. And I love the look of the variegated single stitch at a time. But again, it's just gonna look differently how you want it to look. I gotta get moving. I'm on lunch. I'm a little too chatty. So that is my beautiful things. I love it. I have been, one last thing, I've been seeing this over the shoulder of Janet Jabber. It's been hanging on her wall in her more recent videos. And so every time I see it, it's like, I just gotta pull that piece out. I gotta give it some love. So we gave it some love. I love it. Thank you, Janet, for the inspiration of working on that. Whether you knew it or not, you definitely inspired me. Alrighty. Like I said, I'm on lunch. I need to get moving. You've seen this piece so much lately. Again, I'm going to have to move it off the Q-snap because I got a page finish. Mini Which Way, Molly Anderson. I'm gonna get that without having a question. Yes, I have been completely obsessed with this, and I got a page finish. And I realized last time I worked on this, last time I shared this, I was so close to a page finish that I didn't even think about how close I was to be able to talk about that specifically. So since you saw it last, just look weird. I got a page finish and moved on. I kept going. I know at least somebody got a kick out of what I was talking about, how white she looks. She looks good though. I'm happy with her. Carolyn, you're gonna make me start laughing even harder again. Anyways, since you saw it last, I got the page finish. I know I had some background left to do and all of that, so I got that all finished, and then I moved on. And so like all of this is new along with finishing out this. So that was page 2 finished. So now I'm working on page 3. Page 4 is 10 or 12 stitches wide, so I'm just working them together, and so they'll just be finished together. So it's technically 4 pages wide, but the 4th page is not very wide at all. So there we go. I love that bat that's coming through, and I love this piece. I am now just below 25% complete with this. I'm about like 24 and some change percent complete. 16 count white Ada, 2 strands full cross, and I love her to pieces. All right, last WIP to share. This is another piece that hasn't seen some love since I started it. I started this for Stitch's Gotcha anniversary, which would have been back in March, and so I finally gave it some more attention. You guys may end up not seeing her today. She's finally collapsed on her cat tree. She looks pretty comfortable up there. So, stitches. This is Brush with Magic, the mini version. So mini Brush with Magic, artwork by Lisa Parker. And I am just up here in this upper corner. It's not looking like much besides solid black, but I promise you it is black and blue. So it's black, it's blue. In fact, looking at it from this angle, you know, where I'm actually looking at it, I can definitely see the blue. On the camera, it's probably just looking like solid black. It definitely looks like I have a little bit of Stitcher's ADD or something, because I just go all over the place. But again, I follow the symbols. I've talked about this before, that I will, because of using Pattern Keeper, I'll pick a symbol and just keep moving on as far as I can go with that thread and all of that. So I know when I picked it up, there was definitely some plenty of white space in here, so I obviously I just filled it in and then just kept going. So I do want to say that I've crossed into page 2. I am not at the bottom of the page yet. I know that much. So I don't remember what percentage I was at this. Not very far along at all. I'm seeing that I've got a lot of material here. So for this being a mini, I don't know if maybe I just didn't cut it off as much or if that's truly going to be what the size is. I don't know. Eventually. Alrighty, so that is all of my WIPs. Plans, the only thing that I specifically have planned, threads of diaspora. And then I've talked about this before. I do a section a month, excuse me, of oh, I just realized I punched out at 10 after 1 and it's like 10 to 2. So I was thinking that normally I take my lunch from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And so I was thinking, man, I gotta hurry up. I'm almost done with my lunch. I have an extra 10 minutes. Squirrel. I've been chatty today though. What was I talking about? I am a mess. Oh my goodness. Halloween Quaker, Leela's Studio. That's what I was talking about. I've got it portioned out to do a portion a month to try to get it done. I've got it set a goal in mind of July of 24. And so I still have my December portion. So that might end up being a good task to do in my time off. So maybe starting next week or, after Christmas. Nothing like Halloween stitching for Christmas season, right? Why not? Halloween 365. So really I definitely need to focus on the threads of diaspora to try to get that done as quickly as I can to try to meet that deadline. I'm not sure what they would say if I don't get it done, but I also don't want to, I want to take a priority of that. It's a very special piece and I want to, follow their guidelines and get it back to them in an efficient manner. I just hope that I will definitely send it in a better packaging than what I've sent something else before. I still feel like something is lost in the mail from here to Newfoundland that I sent as a card. And so at least this will be a package that I'll try to do tracking. I have no clue what tracking is like from US to Canada because that's where the people are based. And so I'm hoping that I can get it shipped back to them in a timely manner so that, I may get it finished within the 2 weeks, but getting it back to them, a whole different story. So hopefully I'll get it back in time. Haul. I do have a little bit. This is going to be the November fabric of the month. I'm pretty sure I got it, I got the mail the day that I filmed last time, so I would have had it then. So I'm sure you've all seen it by now. It's called Macchiato. I do the every other in this club, and I did see that all colors won this month. Wow, that was stunning. So beautiful neutral. I've been debating if I want to first of all, I probably should actually cancel the club because I have a lot of material and financial reasons and all of that. But so there's that. But then I've been thinking of switching to just getting all colors. But then I get neutrals like this and it's like, that's beautiful. So we're sticking as we are. Okay. The next bit of haul also includes a picture. I remember mentioning this last month, well, it would have been last month, but last video that I had already purchased it, but I didn't have the picture handy, so I forgot, wasn't going to show it. So the gals that I worked with on the first Most Magnificent Ink Circles round robin, that is a mouthful, Michelle, but I got it. So I think Megan signed up for the second Most Magnificent round, but the others you know, we all just decided to skip it this time. But then somehow some kind of conversation came up about, I think there was a debate of the second most magnificent round robin turning into a Carolyn Manning design that is remaining as ink circles, but the four of us decided, hey, let's do a Manning round robin on our own. So I bought that design. So this is Ruby from the Shooting Star collection. So that's what the whole piece looks like, but as you see these 4 smaller portions down there, in one PDF file, I got all 5 charts. So I got the big one, and then the 4 are different variations and smaller versions. So mine is going to be the second one. So the bigger one that you can see the full thing right there. So I want to say it's pretty much the middle, kind of just pulled out. I don't know. Anyways, it's going to be 12 shades of red. It's going to be beautiful. I love it. So hopefully the gals don't get sick of red. But I did get all of the DMC. I just went ahead and got all brand new scans of all of those. So beautiful shades. I love them all. But the good news is that the total piece, since I'm doing the smaller version, I want to say it's 80 by 80 because each person's portion is 40 by 40. So it's not going to be a whole lot of stitching. But I needed to get a piece of 14 count Aida. I didn't want to just do plain white. I know that's pretty much going to be a full coverage. But I didn't want to just do white Aida. That gets boring. So I went into Bestitch Me and I looked through the ready to ship fabrics and I got a piece of Grog. So again, neutral. I didn't have any 14 count in my stash. And so it's just a neutral. Beautiful color. It's not going to take up even a fourth of this. But in that way I could also plan to stitch it and frame it so that I've got a little bit of the fabric showing still. That would be beautiful. So I'm looking forward to starting this. I'm thinking this will probably be my New Year New Start, actually. So to the gals in my round robin, we get to stitch with a whole lot of red, but on beautiful fabric. So I love the Shooting Star line of Carolyn Manning pieces. It does a lot of these geometric shapes, different triangles and diamonds and such, and so it's usually pretty goes with the flow. So as part of the Bestitch Me order with that 14 count, one piece of material can't travel alone, right? So in the ready to ship, which was really well picked over, so I was having to go through a lot just trying to find another piece. This is just going to go in my stash. I don't have a specific idea in mind for it, but it's a piece of Winter Mix, and this is actually an 18 count. They really didn't have a whole lot of 16 counts on hand, which is fine. 18 count works as well. Especially, I like their 18 count. My Silver Creek Samplers Moonshine was done on a piece of 18 count Artemis, which was more of a gray, and I loved working on that. So I'm good with 18 count. So yeah, I gotta pull that up, but that's Winter Mix. So that is my WIPs, my new starts, my haul. Got a few more minutes left of my lunch. Keep an eye out. I've set a timer so that I don't get too distracted, and so I know that's gonna go off at some point, but I kind of want to make sure that this is ended before that so that I don't know if the camera will pick up that sound, and I know it can be jarring to me if I'm in the middle of something not paying attention to what time it is, so I would hate for that to be jarring on the video. So I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're getting in lots of stitching time. I hope you are giving yourself plenty of grace this holiday season. It's a busy time, lots of parties, I'm sure, and holiday gatherings and lots of shopping and spending and, you know, all that good stuff. So I hope you're finding lots of downtime to get some stitching in. You know, to me, that definitely centers me. I can be so busy. In fact, the past 2 weeks, I've worked I've worked a bunch of overtime. So there's been plenty of 10-hour days. And so I'm logging off of work at 7 p.m. Luckily, I don't have any kind of a commute besides walking from the couch, well, the desk to the couch, not even 5 feet apart. But I've definitely been able to get some stitching time in, and it's something that I've got to. There's even been days that I've been working on my lunch break on the flame, the Fight Like a Girl. And so, you know, just trying to spend a little bit of time every day getting some stitching in. It's what I do. It's my obsession. So I hope you're doing well. Hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas. If you celebrate other holidays, if you don't celebrate anything, I hope you're just, you know, enjoying the downtime or the crazy time that this year is. I think no matter what you do, you know, in terms of celebrating. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. I'm just rambling now at this point. I've been rambling quite a lot this video. Hope you stuck around. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. You know, if you'll hit the like and subscribe, do the YouTube things, I greatly appreciate you. And hope you're doing well. Get lots of stitching in. Do something for yourself every now and again. You know, we got to keep our sanity one way or another. So take care of yourself. Stitch on something that brings you joy. And take care. Bye. Hit the stop button, Mandy.